Good evening, America. I'm Liam Gannon, and I'm here with American hero Joe Schmo, where we talk about Truman's GI Bill and how it helps World War II veterans. So Schmo, tell me how Truman's GI Bill has helped you.
Well, before going further into anything else, I should make it known that I fought valiantly in the 101st Airborne on the Western Front, and so coming back, I felt that I really deserved, national recognition, and I think that that's exactly what the GI Bill gives me. I have an education, I have more skills, I have many opportunities, and overall, I think it's leading to the overall betterment of America.
I shed a tear. So Schmo, tell me, how easy was it to transition into American life?
Well, obviously, coming back from the war, I wasn't expecting it to be as easy as it was. I thought, since I didn't have my high school education even, I didn't have a college diploma, that I would have some difficulty getting a job. But thank you, Harry Truman. He gave me the resources to become a valuable member of American society. I was able to get I was able to finish my high school and get my diploma, and then I was also able to get some preliminary skills at a local community college, and this was all thanks to the government grants. And without these, I don't think I would be where I am today. Like out here in the suburbs, I don't think that I would be able to have all these opportunities that I have without the GI Bill.
So Joe, tell us, where are you now?
Well, initially after the war I was in New York, but thanks to the government grant loans, which benefited construction, I was able to move out here to the suburbs of Morris County, New Jersey. And so things have been going great. I have a job now. I'm married now, and I plan on raising a family soon. And I'm really excited for the future of not only myself, but the middle class of America.
And we're very excited for you. Thank you. Good night, America. Hello, folks. I'm Liam Gannon, and welcome to Killing Communism, Korea Edition. Here in 1950, we all know about communist threats that have sprung up in Eastern Europe, all of which are under the discretion of the Soviet Union. These countries include East Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Romania. In Western Europe, our Marshall Plan has been reasonably effective in warding off communism from war-torn nations. As we continue to supply resources to Western Europe, we can only hope that these decimated countries do not fall victim to the spreading influence of communism. Although Western attempts at maintaining democracy have gone fairly well, the situation in Asia seems to be falling apart. We now go live to our Korea correspondent, Christian Gubler. Christian, could you give us a summary of the events that have transpired over in Korea?
Thank you, Liam. So before I explain what's going on now, it's important to know what transpired after World War II. Korea was separated into two at the 38th parallel after Japan fell. And so attempts to unify Korea were generally unsuccessful, and Leo Woon-hung never really accomplished anything in his efforts. So the UN took charge, and initially there were supposed to be free elections in Korea, but these just never materialized because of differences of opinion between the North and the South, because the North was backed by a communist government and the South by a generally Western democratic government.
How has the situation changed?
Just a few hours ago, the communist North Korean People's Army crossed through the 38th parallel into South Korea. There are implications that the North Korean forces are backed by Chinese and Soviet forces, which are, of course, also communist. South Korea is calling on the United States to intervene with military force, and it is likely that American force will be in the area within the next week.
Do you think that we should intervene?
Liam, I think intervention is the only option in this case. We saw what can happen when we refuse to get involved in foreign affairs. It only causes more international tension, and we end up getting involved in the conflict anyway. Of course, we saw this in both world wars. Taking an isolationist standpoint on this issue would be unwise, especially because there is the possibility for the international spread of communism. Even though this skirmish is occurring on the other side of the planet, we absolutely have to uphold democracy, if at all possible. There is no choice but to intervene in Korea.
The war is finally over. Millions of our valiant young men will return from overseas back stateside to form a new generation of Americans. Where will these men go to raise their families, you may ask? Out of the cities, and to Levittown, of course. Thanks to government-insured and tax-deductible mortgages, prices are as low as ever. While you're out here, feel free to buy the new American-made family wagon, with room for the whole family. With the spread of electricity to suburban areas, you can now take advantage of the innovations of refrigerators and toasters. Unlike the cities, suburban areas like Levittown tend to be nice and segregated from minorities. So, bring your wife, kids, and your dog out to Levittown.
So come to Levittown and be a part of the nice, white American family.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Oprah Winfrey, and welcome to the Red Report. Tonight, we're going to take you inside the American government for Senator Joseph McCarthy's campaign against congressmen, military members, and all the rest alike to root out the Reds and find the communists. It's all happening right here. After World War II, it seemed that both Nazism and fascism had been defeated in the West. But the communism of the East still posed a threat to the American dream. But what happens once communism infiltrates the American ideology? You're about to find out. Stay with us. In the 1950s, Senator Joseph McCarthy was a relatively unknown senator from Wisconsin who preyed off American fears like a parasite against communism and its spread into the American culture. In a panel of West Virginians, he told the people that he had the names of almost 200 State Department leaders who were communists. This number fluctuated constantly as he really had no basis to back up these claims, going down below 100 and then back up to 200 in the matter of a day. No one was safe from Joseph McCarthy's rampage. He preyed off everyone, senators, military members, and the like. He went on a crazy rampage with no evidence to back up his claims. If one would investigate another person and find nothing, he would simply lie and move on to another person, attacking whoever he wanted to at any given time. Until Millard Tidings came along and said it was time to stop this crusade. He called McCarthy out and proved him as a fraud, a hoax, and a liar. To Republicans, McCarthy was a champion and a hero. While his claims might have been falsified, to them, he proved a real problem with the American society. He played off the fears of Catholics and isolationists alike in stopping the Red Scare and communism. So great was the fear that he created that teachers were actually forced to swear loyalty tests to the Union so they wouldn't teach communism in the classrooms. Even though he was a hoax, he worked up such a massive hysteria and a fear that Americans couldn't say no. The fight against communism didn't die with McCarthy's policy, however. It spread all the way through the Reagan administration and the collapse of the Soviet Union, proving that, while extreme, McCarthy's policy reflected the American sentiment towards communist power. And that's it. Live from Del Barton School, I'm Oprah Winfrey. Good night.